What's going on, Surgeaholics? Welcome back to Sooner Surge Live on this Thursday evening. Famone Roster first to comment tonight. Volunteer fan. Appreciate it, Famone. Jeremy, how are you tonight?
Pretty tired, man.
Are you?
Long
Hey,
day. Got home.
Mr. Dillygaff says we're late again. I think we might have been
Hey,
30 seconds late, and that was my
it
fault.
it was
Apologize.
it was Jason's fault. I was driving a bus cross country. I just literally walked in about 9:28 to my house. Left this morning at 6:30. But here we are because we're here every night, Jay. Yep, we're
Baker's
late. Hey, we're
Baker's
late. And
playing
listen,
good.
we're late. Okay, we're late. We were 30 seconds late. Uh, I don't even want to comment, Jay.
Yeah, Baker's playing well. Their defense isn't playing very good, but don't have a new offensive coordinator. First off, John, what's up, Tyler? How you doing? Hey, I think the news today that the Deshaun McCullough stuff from Twitter. I mean, obviously that means I would think that means he's probably cleared to play. I don't know. I'm just assuming, right? I mean, you know what they say about assumptions sometimes, so who
Jason,
knows?
Jason, has
Yeah,
Everett been cleared to play?
yeah.
Has other guys been probable and not played?
No, but I think Brent Venables he said last night that we'll have McCullough back on the press
What?
conference. So
Where's he going to fit in?
that's the question. I mean that's what I'm wondering is because Sammy O's been really good. What's up, Johnny? Hope you're
Hey,
doing
Jay,
good
what
tonight.
happened to Baker?
He's been playing well tonight.
Someone said, I hope he's okay.
What do you mean?
Someone said, I hope Baker's okay.
I don't know what happened to him. What's up,
Hey,
KB?
hey
Uh,
wait, John, uh, you're on here just spouting things that no
those,
one
hey, listen,
said.
those have been rumors for a while. If that's true, that's true. If not, nobody knows. And nobody
No
knows
one
for a
knows. It's
fact.
nothing's official. Baker hurt his leg, Jay, his knee on a sack, and
He'll
he's
be
been
all
tearing it up tonight.
he'll be all right. He'll tough it out. No
He'll
problem.
tough it out. It's Baker Mayfield.
Not a worry. Where do you think McCullough fits in? And hey, Ron, I've said listen, you don't, nobody needs to tell me about Nick Anderson and Andrew Anthony. I've said it for 3 weeks, and I don't think they're playing the rest of the year. Okay. I'm not going to spread any rumor about why or anything because I have no clue. I just don't think they're going to play. Johnny, what is going on? Glad to have you
Hey,
back, bro. Glad to have you back.
first off, Nick Anderson's pro stock isn't going to be anything. They're going to take it off of 1 year. Guys, come on. The
Hey,
other thing,
yeah.
the other thing is, where does McCullough fit in? Man, here's what I'll say. It depends on where they use him. Are they going to use him at linebacker or cheetah? He's going to. I think he fits in at spots at times.
Yeah, he had a really good game last year against Texas. I will say that. Hey, real quick though, let's get to something that I want to talk about tonight.
I
The
know what it
red shirt,
is.
the red shirt has to go away. Red shirts have to go away. To me, the only way you can use a red shirt is for medical reasons only. I think it needs to go away.
Even then,
Even
Jay.
that, just give them all 5 years. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. All these people that are playing 4 games and then saying they're sitting the rest of the year and transferring. I do away with the red shirt. What is the red shirt good for anymore? I don't
It's good for them to make more money the next year because they've had an extra year. Gentry,
just do away with
Johnny,
it.
Johnny. No news on Gentry. I know the feel from Sooner fans are that he's done. I'm not one who thinks Gentry Williams is done.
He's
I
done
think
this year, I
Gentry.
think.
What?
I think he's done this year.
What's the injury, Jay?
Jeremy, he hasn't played this year hardly. He's probably not gonna.
What's the injury, Jason?
Jeremy, I don't care what the injury is. Here's my
I
thing.
do.
When Jeremy, I don't. When you're game 6 into the season and these guys haven't
It's a
played yet, they're
shoulder
probably not
injury,
playing.
Jay. It's a shoulder injury.
I don't, Jeremy. When guys haven't played halfway through the year, the chance of them playing probably slim and
He
none.
he played in 2 or 3 games early in the year and he got hurt.
Very little, very little, very little. Okay. Caleb says depth spot for Cheetah. Now I would agree with that, and also I think you can use him in certain packages that he would fit really well in. So that gives you a little more versatility. That's what it does.
Sooner fan, I don't know. Maybe because he wants to keep things private and he thinks it's for the player's benefit for that. But what happens when you don't actually communicate what the injuries are? All you get is speculation from Sooner fans.
Yeah, and Michael, I don't think Gentry's going to the portal. I just don't think he's playing this year. So
Yeah, I like Deshaun coming off the edge more than anything. What do you mean did Jackson Arnold miss practice?
no clue.
Ron,
No
who
clue.
never wants to start rumors, that's all he does.
Ron's got the rumor
I'll
mill
call
going
Ron out.
tonight.
I'll call Ron out.
He's got the rumor mill going. Deshaun will linebacker and maybe edge. I think edge more than likely is the way on blitz stuff. Probably is the way you use him.
He can play Will. Hey, okay, look. Hey, I'm sorry. The fact that you're going to sit here and just act like you know everything in the world. Listen, is it likely Jackson Arnold's going to transfer? Yeah, if he's not the starting quarterback at OU, he will. You don't know what this year holds. If Michael Hawkins goes down with an injury, which I don't want, if that were to happen, and Arnold steps in and has a really good, like you can't say you know for a fact he's transferring. Here's what I know: he hasn't entered the portal. According to the coaches, he's practicing. He's doing the right thing. So until he leaves campus, let's stop talking about it.
He's probably gonna transfer, but I don't know why
that's not news. That's not news, Jay.
It's not news at all.
Transferring is not true.
I agree. It's not news at all. I mean, I think anybody that's a 5-star quarterback and they get benched, probably looking to transfer the next year when the guy that he got benched for is a true freshman. I mean, if you're gonna let's put something that's gonna actually be some news in here. I mean that's pretty obvious. I would
Sooner
think.
fan. Yeah. Why would he? Why would he enter before? And Eric, and first off, Craig, yeah, Baker's doing really good tonight. Eric, I'm not against that, but Casey Thompson still isn't 100%, they're saying. So,
yeah, I don't think.
I'm not saying I sit here and care. I'm saying the people that are saying he's transferring automatically, no one knows anything. He's still the backup on the team, though. I don't understand why people have to get the cart ahead of the horse. Like, geez, just chill out about it. He's not going to be here next year if Michael Hawkins is the starter, and Michael Hawkins is the starter. So
let me ask this question, because I've seen a few people say that Arnold should go to where Riley is. He would be a good fit there. Those are the same. Wait. Will you stop talking? Let me finish talking, please. Those are the same people that just bashed Arnold and said he can't play quarterback at all. He sucks. But now he can be great under Riley in that offense.
Hey, man.
Let Jackson Arnold go do what Jackson Arnold wants to do. I don't really care about Jackson Arnold right now. He's not playing for Oklahoma. I care about him. But I'm just saying, like, let's not talk about Jackson Arnold tonight. I don't really see the reason.
Jay says Hover and Ron are trolling. Look, we have trolls all the time. I just sit here and I'll talk to anyone on here, okay? And I'll call anyone out on here. That's just what we do here. Seth Literal, is going to be the head ball coach at Florida State. Yeah,
that's a good rumor.
Gaff said it first.
Hey, here's a hot take. Ole Miss loses this week to South Carolina. Lane Kiffin will be leaving for Florida.
Jay, I didn't watch it. I know you guys were talking about in the Discord. DNA, OU DNA.
Did I call it 3 weeks ago? Did I call it?
Yes, you called it.
I said, now it sounds like supposedly maybe they're going to release one after every bye week is what it kind of sounds like, or every 3 weeks. Maybe it's every 3 weeks or something. I don't know. Just a few times throughout the year is what they're going to do. But
hey, John, it's not the truth, though. It's not the truth. If you want to say likely transferring, okay. But that's not the truth to say he's automatically transferring because he hasn't yet. I agree. Lincoln Riley whispers in your ear.
Hey, FSU folks want Neon Dion. I think Florida may want Neon Dion. If I'm Florida, I'm going after him. But he'll be in the NFL. I agree with Sooner.
I don't know if he's going to NFL.
Let me ask you this. If Dallas Cowboys fire their coach, would they go after Dion?
Jerry would do anything for money. It would be a horrible hire.
Riley will be the next puppet coach for Jerry Jones. That could happen. What else is going on tonight, Jeremy?
Jester says Boomer Sooner for life, but seriously, please tell me we ain't bringing Harrell in as an analyst. Come on, can we please get away from Leach offense? It's not been good in 10 years. There was a lot of rumor of that, but
Hey, I saw this kind of
All
today.
rumor.
As I saw this too, a little bit like a rumor. For some reason, I don't see Kirby Smart as an NFL guy. And maybe that's just me. Maybe, I mean, Saban tried it. Saban didn't really work out in NFL.
Gary says Kirby Smart to Dallas confirmed. Well, we'll have to see what Dallas does this year.
Yeah, I mean, Dallas, well, you know what Dallas going to do. They're going to lay an egg in the playoffs like they always do if they make the playoffs.
Don, now they may get a New Year's 6. They're not getting in the playoff, in my opinion. Now, let's talk about Kevin Sperry, a decommit. Here's the thing. It's hard to know this day and age with kids because they want to go start immediately. I think Kevin Sperry all along knows he's not playing as a true freshman.
Yeah, but he'd probably have to sit 2 years.
Possibly.
Here's the thing. It's hard when you recruit really good quarterbacks every year. Somebody's not going to be happy if they're sitting. That's the way you are in college football these days. So I mean, I like Sperry, but Gary God says between him and Jaden O'Neal, he doesn't think he's going to see the field. It's too early for me to tell on this. And guys, do not forget. I mean, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer at all because I'm not. But please do not forget. And I like Michael Hawkins a ton, but the guy's played one game. I mean, let's not crown him as. And I think he's really good, but it's a long season in the SEC. I'm just saying. Let's just. I don't know.
I don't. Some of these comments I'm not even going to show because they're ridiculous.
Why would you show them, Jeremy?
I'm not
feed into it.
Okay? I'm just going to let it roll through the chat. I don't even going to show them.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Not worth showing, dude. Not worth showing. It's just getting me fired up, Jay.
That's right. I agree with this. Monty, I agree with you on this.
Last night, I threatened to throw things out the window. I might tonight.
Yeah, Tyler says Hawkins will have his freshman moments. Most do. And I think all true freshmen have some bad moments. And so Sooner fans, just if he throws a pick against Texas, let's not just throw him under the bus. Okay.
Well, here's the thing, Jay. If he plays like he's been playing, Jay.
Yeah.
He's been pretty safe on throwing the ball. He's kind of just either taken off running or pulled it down and taken a sack or just thrown it away. He hasn't really risked anything. So if he plays like that, he may not have a lot of bad moments, Jay.
Fired up Germ is the best Germ.
Well, I'm fired up because of some of the comments in here.
That's fine. It's all good. I wish the game was Saturday. I hate that you have to wait a whole another week for this thing.
We need another week emotionally.
Emotionally?
Here at the Sooner Surge, yeah. I need another week.
You just see, don't tell me that's you. I'm not you. I'm a different person.
I can make that happen within minutes here tonight if you want.
Turn your camera off and get right back on. You'd be sensei, right?
Ron, I know yours is all in fun. I'm just saying. Some bad takes on here tonight.
What's the game you're looking forward to the most this weekend?
Man,
Ole Miss.
Yeah, I like Ole Miss, South Carolina.
Hey,
I like the Missouri game. Hey,
I said something. Let me get to Dilligaff. Thanks, Dilligaff.
Arkansas Vols, Arkansas, Tennessee. I like.
Hey, thanks, Mr. Dilligaff. Appreciate the prayers big time. And trolls don't bother me. They never have. Even if they were truthful, it wouldn't bother me. It just doesn't. I don't go to bed at night worried about any comment. Hey, this is what I want to talk about right here. I put it in the Discord tonight or today. True or false? The winner of that game makes the playoff. I think it's true.
The winner of A&M Missouri?
Yep. Playoff.
Okay, there's been some bad takes. That may take the cake.
Have you looked at both their schedules after this game?
Yeah, they're pretty easy.
So you think they're going to have more than 2 losses if they win this game?
Let me hear A&M's schedule.
I don't have it in front of me, but they don't play Ole Miss. They don't play Georgia. They don't play Alabama. They play at South Carolina.
Okay.
Tough. I think that's their toughest road game.
SEC title game.
They play LSU at home.
Yeah, I agree with Greg on Missouri. Yes, A&M no.
But go look at A&M's schedule.
It's A&M.
I don't care. I'm just saying.
I don't care who's on their schedule. It's Texas A&M. I'm not giving them anything.
I'm not giving it to them. They do have Texas.
You just said if they win, they're in the playoffs.
That's the one. Texas at the end of the year.
Texas. Oh my.
Oh, they might beat Texas. They've been looking for that game for years.
King of bad takes, Jay, tonight.
Oh, maybe I'm catching up to you, dude.
If Missouri goes on the road and wins at A&M, Missouri's likely in the playoff. Although Missouri should have lost to Vanderbilt at home.
I think Missouri's losing this week. My confident meter is pretty high for A&M to win.
Think about this, everybody. Let's just say Missouri goes to A&M and loses. And let's just say Ole Miss goes to South Carolina and loses. That's two teams everyone was really high on. That's going to have their work cut out of them to even end up 9-3.
Yeah. There's a hot take. Mark says neither make the playoffs.
That's likely. If they both lose this weekend, I don't know if either of them make it.
And KB's right, because that's probably more likely is who's going to throw up on themselves. Who's going to puke down their leg? One of them, probably. Why are we even talking about it? Hey, I guess so. Chester, it's a bye week, bro.
Go ahead and share your thoughts on the OU DNA. And don't be
real quick. 56 straight days of football starting today between college and NFL. Pretty cool. Here's the deal about OU DNA for me. I used to love OU DNA. Tonight I watched it, and my thoughts were this. If you're going to wait 3 or 4 weeks to put each one out, I don't see a whole lot of point if you have Twitter, because I've seen everything that's on it from Twitter. So nothing was new to me. I've seen most all of it on Twitter.
It's ridiculous.
So I've seen it all. So it's like they just put it all together in an episode. And I don't want to bash the creative media team. I'm not going to do that. But it's just like I've already seen, and they have to put it on Twitter because the fans like it. But I think because I see it on Twitter, there's really no point for me to watch it on there. But I'll watch it because I'm an OU fan.
But Jay, there should be better stuff.
More behind the scenes stuff I would like.
I mean, if you think it's too close or it's too bad or it's just too personal, edit it. But you got to have some coverage of it.
Yeah, they did all the non-con. Then they're going to do the next 3 games, I believe. I think they're going in 3 or 4 game spans, Clark, is what they said, or supposedly. Now, we'll see. It's not no hard knocks, that's for sure.
Now, some of that, they probably can't be in the locker room with how much stuff goes on in locker rooms these days.
And part of that is true.
Say, the music that's played in locker rooms, maybe the language in locker rooms, I don't think you could ever put it on, Jay.
But you can edit it, Jeremy. There's an edit button, dude. Jeez, there's an edit button. This is 2024, man. We're not in 1980, bro. Jeez.
I already said edit, Jay.
Jeez. Louise. Yeah, they did do each week last year, and it was last 2 years, wasn't it? Didn't they start at 2 years?
They were doing that this year, Jay.
The first year was the best year of it, in my opinion.
Till they didn't look good. And then they said, hey, hold up.
What else is going on, Germ? Get with the program, Germ. Jeez. Mark's got $500 on OU winning 3.5 SEC games. Did you take four games? Did you see that thing that came out that said OU 4 games and they're in the top college football playoff talk? I was like, gotta get 5. Gotta get 5.
Auburn, South Carolina. Two more.
Missouri.
It can happen. Missouri or Ole Miss. Hey, how do you win half a game? You don't. It's just for betting purposes. And why are you saying the offense is so bad? Because of what?
He said because the locker room's soft. Hey, Selwyn, OU needed this bye week to get healthy. Perfect timing. I agree with the bye week for the team and for the players. It's perfect. I agree with that. It is. It's great timing. So it is what it is. You have the bye week. this weekend, it just sucks that this weekend there's not very many great games. Because I would love for a bye week as a fan, if your team's not playing, to have some awesome games to watch. Like the Oregon Ohio State, I wish it was this weekend. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it'd have been a better weekend for Oregon, Ohio State. I agree. OU right now sitting at 4-1. They got to have 5 more wins, Jay,
What do you mean they have to make a playoff?
to even have a chance.
I'm not even talking about playoffs.
No, I'm just saying you brought it up. I mean,
Tulane, I think they have 2 this year. Most
OU
teams.
has 2 bye weeks.
I think a lot of the teams have 2, if not all of them.
And 3 if you count Maine.
Well, I'm not counting any game as a bye
Okay,
week.
let's camp a little, Jay. Michael Neal says Michael would be stunned if Seth doesn't come with a 50% new offense. I would be shocked if it's 50% new.
My question...
I think there's going to be some packages, some wrinkles. I'm not going to say 50% new. Now, it may be 50% new personnel from 2 weeks ago, but
my question would be to Michael would be, what in the first 5 games makes you think they're going to change it even more? I mean, I would have thought you would have seen more against Auburn if you were going to change some of it. New quarterback.
It was Hawkins' first game, so.
Yeah, they get a bye week before Bama. They get correct second half of the season. 20% new, Aaron says. I think, but here's the thing. New is really what? You're throwing in a few new plays? I mean, wrinkles? I don't think they're running a different offense. Yeah, Eric's back on the Kool-Aid going with 3 more wins. What's up, Eric?
What are the 3 then? South Carolina, Mizzou, and Ole Miss, Jay.
Maine.
And Maine.
So Maine would be one of them, not Ole Miss probably.
Jeremiah, I don't know if anyone's picking Arkansas over Tennessee, but I do think that it could be closer than people think.
I would
Bobby, if they're gonna play man coverage, if Texas is gonna go in there and man cover OU on the outside, OU has to take some deep shots.
Yeah, you have to. You have to stretch it. You have to stretch the field, period. We're giving you a hard time, Eric. Giving you a hard time.
Jay, if you're a betting man right now, would you put money that OU is going to win 8 games?
No.
I think OU can get to 8.
They can, but would you put money on it?
They're at 4. I would give South Carolina, Maine. I would probably say they win Missouri or Ole Miss. That's 7, and they could beat. You never know a home game against Bama. You just never know what happens that late in the year, or LSU. I don't know. I don't know how OU's going to look then, but.
Hey, real quick, I'm nuts says, why bother watching if you think you're going to lose all these games? OU will get. Hey, I'm nuts. Listen, I am not saying that OU's not going to win 8 games. I'm just saying, am I confident right now that they are? I'm not that confident in that. No, that's not saying I'm not going to watch. They could go out there and win 9 games. I'm nuts. I don't know yet. Okay. I do think you'll know a lot. Hey, this says you guys have a totally base of OU fans on here than the other OU pods. Kind of refreshing. Are you talking about what do you mean as far as we don't just say they're going every game?
Maybe different type of base. Hey, real quick, I've got to get to Tyler. I know Tyler's a Texas fan, but Jackson Dart didn't look good against Kentucky. Lane Kiffin did not look good against Kentucky.
No.
So to say they're just going to tear up OU, bad take in my opinion.
Chicken 1550, thanks for joining tonight. That's why you play the game. You play to win the game. Who was it that said that? Do you remember?
You play to give the win?
No, you play to win the game. What coach was that?
I have no idea.
Oh, come on. You played. Somebody will know it. They always know it. I think OU will continue to improve as they get healthy and make some noise. And that could very well happen. Here's what I firmly believe this, OU fans. I firmly believe this. A week and a half from now, whatever that is, Saturday at 6:30 after Texas, I do think you'll have a very clear answer on what OU is. I do, because you have Michael Hawkins as a starter. You have your lineman, supposedly your best lineman back. You have 2 weeks to prepare. If they go out there and look good, then maybe that's what you're going to get the rest of the season. If they go out there and lay an egg, that's probably what you're going to get the rest of the season. I think you're going to. I think you're going to know a lot.
Eric said, I thought, and by the way, the coach was Herm Edwards. Eric and Sooner fan said, hey.
That's it. Thank y'all.
Eric said, I thought we all agreed the SEC is totally different this week. I agree it's week by week. That's why I'm saying no one can say just someone's going to torch someone. No one really knows what's going to happen. FanStop, who is, we are very just happy and proud to announce the FanStop, to talk about the FanStop each and every night on here. You can see the logo in the upper right-hand corner, and you can see the ticker at the bottom. You really need to check out the FanStop at thefanstop.com. Really look at the hat that Jay just showed. I need to get mine on tonight. It's OU Texas week, and that's the only place you can order those hats. They have a couple different styles for it. There you go. That's on thefanstop.com. You go to shop. You can go down to hats. You can find that hat. And you can also sign up for your team's Shirt of the Month Club. I know there's still a lot of other teams' fans on here with Tennessee and Auburn and others who have been on here. Yeah, look for your team's Shirt of the Month Club and use code SURGE for 10% off. FanStop says, what team has tore up OU secondary this year? I mean, the team that had the most success, FanStop, was Auburn.
Yeah.
And that was really more so in the first half, where they took some deep shots and completed them. OU's secondary didn't turn their head around. They didn't make plays at all. Second half, they decided to do something different, which was put more pressure on the quarterback. It worked out. They allowed some things underneath in that half, but nothing over the top. So we'll see what happens. Against Quinn Ewers, OU's got to pressure him. Period.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask this question to everybody in the chat. PFF's a real thing. A lot of people love PFF. I don't know if you saw that today, where OU's highest ranked defensive back or cornerback through the first 5 games this year is Eli Bowen. Like, are people sold on PFF as it's the thing to go by? There's some great things about PFF, but there's a lot of things on PFF. I'm like, what were they watching to give them that rating? So what I really hate is when people will put it out on Twitter and say, oh, this guy's the highest ranked. How come he's not playing anymore? There's more to it than that. It's not just, I don't know. That's just me.
It's like camp, Jay. Guys go to camp, look great, but they don't play well. Hey, Colin, I'm going to go against you here. I'm going to go against what Colin just said. And here it is, Jay. Colin was talking about after the Houston game, Ethan Downs talked in the locker room and basically said, college football's hard. A win is a win. I get it. A win is a win is a win is a win is a win. However, in the same breath, do not act like, in my opinion, OU players should not have been acting like, well, I mean, they're happy they got the win, but they did not play well at all.
Well, here's the fact. A win is a win is a win. But at the University of Oklahoma, a 2-point win against a bad team is not the same as a. I mean, that's a win. Yeah, it goes down as a win, but nobody can be happy about that.
No, and I think the better statement would have been, guys, we got away with the win, but we played ridiculous.
I think he kind of said that. Did you watch it? I thought he kind of.
All, Jay.
I thought he kind of said we got to be. This wasn't good. I mean,
okay, that's different. Hey, FanStop said Auburn did only score 21, and that's right. They did only score 21. OU changed it in the second half. OU Zach Alley made adjustments in the second half, put pressure on, made the big plays when they needed to, and hold them to 7 points. And by the way, Greg God says at FanStop, because Freeze choked the game away. You can say that, but they had to throw the ball on 3rd and 5 there at the end.
Well,
you can say that, but they threw the ball because Sammy Oshmigo chased down their running back to make it 3rd and 5. If they get that first down on the same play they ran earlier and got 14 yards on, the slant pattern, they thought that was a gimme. The game's over if they get the first down.
How about Auburn getting a commit?
Credit OU.
How about Auburn getting a commit from Deuce Knight? Yeah. Big time quarterback, and that's a big get for you, Freeze.
my deal though with what Greg got said is it's always, well, the other team did things that OU didn't do, and that's why they gave OU the game is the implication. That's false. If that's the case, okay, say that, but then also say that OU gave Tennessee the game. Say that OU gave Tennessee the game. If you're going to say that, Greg God.
My thing is this: I what I haven't heard this week, which is kind of weird. I thought I would heard it, is that Alabama went very vanilla and let Georgia back in the game. I mean, did that happen, or did Georgia just somehow start making plays and get back in the game?
Have you heard that they let him back in it?
No, but do you remember the OU Tennessee stuff? As Tennessee took their foot off the gas.
That's my point, Jay. That's my point.
But Alabama, did they take the foot off the gas? I mean, I haven't heard anybody talking about that. So it is what it is, guys. I mean,
a win is a win, and OU made the play to win the game. It was a great play by Kip Lewis. He was stumbling backwards. It was a great call by Zach Alley.
I would take the same.
Hugh Freeze looked at what OU was in, saw that he had single coverage in the slot for a slant. Fact. Thought the blitz was coming. Fact.
And Clark, I don't disagree here, although I think OU trying to drive the length of the field and win that game offensively was going to be a hard chore.
Absolutely was a hard chore. Now,
I think it would have been a difficult chore.
If you want to say Freeze could have just punted it away, but Freeze wanted to win the game right there. And what's funny is everyone's saying, people saying Auburn should have just kept running the ball because, and then you also say they light up OU secondary. So they should keep running the ball, but OU secondary is trash.
And let's
don't understand it.
Let's move on to OU Texas. That's the big game. Auburn's in the rearview mirror. I could care less about Auburn. OU got out of there with a victory. It's a big win. The fact of the matter is OU has not played very good football this year, and they're 4-1. So now you go see what happens against Texas. You got to play your best game of the year, not even close. It's got to be by far your best game of the year. Defensively, offensively, special teams, all of it, to beat Texas.
You have to. It's got to be your best. That's why you play this game. Lance Fleury, thanks for being on. Who called them trash? I've seen several people call OU secondary and pass coverage awful.
Buccaneers still up by 3. That's a big game for Buccaneers. They can have
huge game for Tampa Bay.
2-game lead on Atlanta if they win.
Divisional opponent on the road, massive win if Baker can get that.
Yeah, and their defense isn't playing very well tonight. That's the problem with it. Defense isn't playing well. Right now, Jerm, who would you say offensively after 5 games? Tell me a guy offensively that they are who you thought they were. Maybe they're as good as you thought they were. They're as bad as you thought they were.
I got guys who I can say are way worse than I thought they were. That being Jackson Arnold, way worse than I thought he was. I thought Hawkins was going to be really good as far as legs.
He's probably the only one right now that you could.
I would say Hawkins' arm is better. Hawkins' arm is better than I thought it was. Taylor Tatum, I think, better early than I thought he would be. Burks, I can't say Burks is better than I thought because I actually thought maybe even better. Tight end, none of the tight ends are better than I thought they would be. I guess I'll throw one name out there. I got one name for you on offense. I'm not getting special team. One name who's better than I thought he would be. I guess I could say Tarquin. I thought he was going to be a bench guy.
Yeah, but did you see the stat the other day that Bauer Sharp already has more yards and catches than Stogner?
Gabriel never threw to the tight end, Jay.
Well, that's true.
In that offense.
Yeah, Sawchuk's been a disappointment. I would agree with that. What about defensively? I think you could go down the list on defense.
There's a lot defensively.
There's a lot. And that's kind of the point I was trying to make is just the offense. There's not a guy on that offensive side right now that, other than Hawkins, who on the offensive side of the ball, you think when they catch the ball or handed the ball can take it to the house? Other than Hawkins, who's going to make a house call in that offense? Big play.
I think Taylor Tatum.
I would agree. Maybe Tatum.
Maybe Burks.
So two freshmen is what we're talking about. Defensively, you got a bunch. You got Jaden Jackson. You got Robert Spears Jennings, he might be an All-American at the end of the year. He's playing that good.
Unbelievable. He's unbelievable. Hey, you know another guy, Jay, that I think is coming on right now?
Defensively?
Yes.
Um,
A guy that's coming on, the more he plays, the more I like from him.
Trace Ford?
No, I do like him, though.
Who?
Caden Woolard.
Wooler's playing better. I would agree with Woolard. He's playing
Woolard's
better.
getting pressure. He's so long. Gets that hand up
He's
in the
playing
air,
better.
knocks it down. R. Mason Thomas has been unbelievable. Jaden Jackson, though, early was talked about.
No, he's still doing really good. You just don't notice him because
I agree because he's just plugging the middle. DeJoun Terry's been really good. To me, the middle guys, DeJoun Terry, Dominique Williams, Grayson Hall had games early, and then Jaden Jackson. They're doing their job of just plugging the middle.
Yeah, and this team's been really good against the run, and you're going to have another really good game against the run. Another guy that people aren't talking about a lot, Dominique Williams. Watch some of his film. He's throwing guys around too, Greg. I saw your comment about Jaden Jackson. So is Dominique Williams. Hey, Ron, that's who I'm talking about. He's playing well.
The defensive line is maybe the strength of the team.
He's playing well. And JJ does the same thing. He throws guys around.
Absolutely, he does. But people don't, unless there's a play in the backfield, people won't even notice the D line, and that's bad because they're doing their job to allow these other guys to just go get guys.
Yeah, there's another one for Wooly, Boomer 129. Terry's been great this year. I love the way Terry plays. That's the thing about defense. They can interchange these guys, and there's not a drop-off.
And I'll tell you a guy who, Jay, there's a guy on defense that, I'll tell you one, exactly who I thought he was.
Who's that?
And I think he's a bench guy. Kenai Walker. He is a role player.
I think
a role player that should play sparingly.
No, I think
he should play in certain packages.
I think Kenai Walker's really good zone defender. I do think going deep against a man, he just doesn't have the speed. I think deep. Maybe that's it. By the way, if you have not rewatched the game, one guy who played his butt off against Auburn, Billy Bowman. Hey, go watch the very first play of the game. Even Hugh Freeze talked about it. He goes, he was 14 yards deep when we snapped that ball. And he threw off a guy like he was just a little ant. He's physical.
He got banged up on a play when he threw his shoulder into someone like Brandon Everett used to do. And it looked like he was going to go out, and he stayed in. Hey, Boganowski, you got the 2 weeks before Texas. Look, if they watch the clip of the one play he played, they're sitting there in the film session probably oohing and awing. He's got to play some.
Hey, Boganowski on a safety blitz? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's got to play some. I'm not saying he's got to play a lot. He's got to play some, and I mean more than one snap.
I would love to see him on a blitz right up the middle.
This team would be unbelievable if they had an offense that could score points because you would not be able to come back on this team. They'd pin their ears back.
Well, here's the problem. And here's the thing. We've talked about the defensive backs. I do think that's the area where you can get Oklahoma, specifically if you don't get pressure on the quarterback. However, like Kenai would be fine playing bump man coverage if you brought pressure and you didn't have to cover for a while. He's pretty physical. But if you go down the field much, then you're in trouble. So I do think they're going to have to bring pressure on Ewers. They're going to have to. They're not going to be able to sit there and cover Wingo and these guys. I mean, Texas is a really good passing offense. I think passing efficiency, they're top 3 in the nation. So they're really good. It's 8.5, I believe.
Texas is tight end.
Has this moved?
Do what?
Has it moved at all, or is it still 8.5?
I haven't even paid attention, Jay. It's not even game week. But, hey, Texas is tight end this year compared to last year's.
KB Longhorn and a few of the Texas guys in there said they're better at tight end this year. Now, Sanders last year was good, but seemed like he was always hurt, remember?
He was hurt all the time, and he was turnover prone, I think, a little bit. But are they better at receiver than last year?
I think people say they're deeper. And there it is. Helms a stud.
I mean,
Beverly.
Isaiah Bond is elite.
I
I would say Bond and Worthy's a watch.
let me say this. One area, and as an OU fan, and the way they've played this year, I would be absolutely shocked if Texas is able to run the ball very well against Oklahoma. That would surprise me. From what I've seen this year from Oklahoma, if Texas were to line up there and run the ball against Oklahoma like consistently, I would be shocked. They'll get a couple of busted, probably maybe 8 or 10 yards. But think about it. Through 5 games, what's the longest run OU's allowed? I mean, they haven't had very many run breaks like they have in the past. So I think they're going to be able to stop the run. The whole key to this game, in my opinion, is OU's defensive backs against Texas receivers.
But I will say, Whittington, was it Whittington last year, Jay? He was underrated.
Worthy had a good game last year.
Worthy and Whittington were really good. Reggie Powers is playing special teams. I believe that's it.
Yeah, and Tyler, I know y'all have been banged up, and I think you're ranked 72nd in rushing efficiency. Now OU's worse than that offensively, but I'm just saying for a team that doesn't run it great, I think OU will shut that down pretty good. Which the good thing about it, if you can shut it down without, you might be able to bring more pressure against the pass. So we'll see what happens. BB will have some stuff lined out, and so will Sark. Sark's got 2 weeks to prepare for Oklahoma's defense. So
I haven't heard if he's starting, but Clyde brings up Vickers. Now, here's the deal.
He did play a little bit, didn't he?
Vickers came in at the end of that game. Makari Vickers gives you something that, in my opinion, Kenai Walker doesn't. Size-wise, Makari Vickers is pretty good. Size-wise, physical, he's got more speed than Kenai Walker.
Yeah. But is he ready for this right now? I mean,
Jay, I've said this before. I like playing multiple guys in the secondary.
Lane, I don't have the stats in front of me. I just know Texas is probably top 3 offensively passing. OU's probably close to dead last passing the ball. That's just truth of the matter. Okay.
Yeah, OU's not good throwing the ball.
Hey, what about this? Let me ask you this.
Back.
Let me ask you this. You move Jacoby Johnson to receiver. If you're not going to play him, he needs to be defensive back because he's one of your biggest, most physical defensive backs you got.
I agree.
So they need to figure that out. Like, is he going to play receiver or defensive back?
Real quick, our backs are dangerous out of the backfield. Yeah, I think there's going to be some matchup issues. OU's linebackers going to have to run. And speaking of linebackers, Joe C says Kobe McKenzie likes, but he had his hands on a couple.
He was in position.
Wouldn't drop those. The thing is, Canick's not in the rotation.
Yeah, he was in position to make plays. He just didn't make them.
Canick's not in the rotation at all.
No, he didn't. Not at all.
I would love to see Hester and Jacoby on the outside with Burks in the slot. When you go 4 wide, have Thompson in.
Hey, I know you mentioned it before the season, and I kind of laughed at you. Canick at tight end.
Yeah. Physical guy, could block extremely well. He played quarterback and safety.
I think
Why would he not be a tight end?
I think they're grooming Canick for next year at linebacker. He's just getting a lot of reps. And I think he's going to be on the field more at linebacker.
In the meantime, put him at offense, especially if you're not going to use Devon Mitchell.
Yeah. Craig, ATL fan, Atlanta fan. I guess they lost.
They're coaching, man. I like some of the guys they got, man, but their coaching is bad.
Dallas should have got rid of Mike McCarthy and promoted their DC to head coach. He's over in Washington right now tearing it up.
Dan Quinn, man, he's killing it.
Dan Quinn.
Wasn't he at Atlanta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was. He was good. I think that was the year they went to the Super Bowl, maybe.
Hey, I believe Canick played quarterback and safety.
Are you surprised there's no H-back with Seth Luttrell's offense?
I'll say this. I'm surprised we're not seeing more 2 backs, whether it's an H-back, a tight end back there, or 2 running backs. I don't know why you're not seeing it more. It's a little bit mind-boggling.
And I do think that, and Tyler dropped some stats there. Appreciate it. Mess as well. I do think one thing that's overlooked by maybe I'll say OU fans, but just fans in general is, and I know Texas has not played great offenses, but their defense is good this year. Like it's a good defense. They're ranked higher than OU in a lot of categories. So, I, to me, OU's going to have to score probably 30, 31 points to win this game.
Really quickly, let's again go through Texas' schedule thus far.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
Go.
Michigan.
Yeah. Colorado State.
3 laughers.
ULM. I'm trying to remember the other one. It wasn't
Who was their SEC opponent?
Mississippi State.
Okay, so let's hold on a minute here.
I agree. I agree with you.
I think Texas' defense is good. You cannot compare Texas' defense right now to OU's because OU's played 2 of the better offenses in the SEC.
Well, hold up on Auburn on the offense. Now, Tennessee, yes.
Offenses.
And I do think Tulane's a decent offense, too. I do.
Tulane's a decent offense. And Auburn's Hugh Freeze, trust me, and they were number 1 on yards per carry, Jay, in the SEC. That's a fact. I'm not making it up. 6.2 per carry.
I know. I'm not saying you're making it up.
Tennessee is prolific. Tennessee was scoring 50 or 60 on everyone. I didn't talk about Houston, KB.
Yeah, the Houston. Hey, I think most
Michigan's offense is trash.
Hey, I think most Texas fans would say that they have not played a great offense. And they're not playing a great offense this week. So you shouldn't have anything to worry about defensively, Texas fans.
Exactly.
OU's probably the worst offense they've faced.
It's bad.
Booty probably had a better offense at ULM.
Yeah, the Houston game was bad offensively, so it's hard to even tell. Yeah, look, you're right, Aaron. It comes down to turnovers, but more importantly, rushing yards. Rushing yards and turnovers. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, Booty called ULM there. Hey, if you're and I know there's a bunch of Texas people in here. I would love your thoughts as Texas fans. What concerns you about Oklahoma this game? Is there anything from Oklahoma that you say that concerns me, or do most Texas fans think I'm not? There's not one thing on Oklahoma's team that I'm concerned about. So I'd like for you, the Texas fans, to answer it. I've already told you as an OU fan what I'm concerned about again with Texas. So, and I've picked Texas to win the game. I've been pretty open about that. So, as a Texas fan, what concerns you from Oklahoma?
The only thing you could say as far as Texas fan, I think, would be Michael Hawkins' ability to escape.
And OU's defense. OU's defense. I think you'd have to say OU's defense.
And I think you have to say maybe Brent Venables having Sark's number on defense.
Hey, there's one thing you can't run and hide from. You cannot run and hide from the stat. OU leads the SEC in sacks. OU leads in turnovers. What this game is so many times, as Aaron said, hinged on turnovers. You can throw all the stats out of there if you want. The one that's going to make the biggest difference is turnovers in this game. Either way, OU or Texas. I mean, whoever makes the most turnovers probably have a chance of losing the game for sure. Front 7 and how aggressive, how OU always plays this game. Texas always comes out soft. Okay, that's a good comment. KB says, interior line is biggest concern. I just think against our O-line is going to be good. Okay.
Hey, OU versus Texas is where it's always at. It's in the Cotton Bowl. It's in the State Fair.
We'll never move.
And people say, well, it's in Dallas. Yeah, but that's 2 hours from Austin and 2 hours from Norman. It's right in the center. Ethan did handle the left tackle.
I remember last year there was a lot of Kelvin Banks talk, and Ethan had a great day against him. So I know he's a lot better this year. Hasn't even allowed a pressure on a quarterback, but
he'll allow pressure this week.
I will say this though. Now Sark is a really good offensive mind. He's really good with his quarterbacks, but at the same time, I think Brent Venables is really good at disguising things. I think that's going to be a fun kind of chess match.
Hey, the only thing that bothers me a little is how lucky OU seems to be when they're in a tight spot. It's not luck. It's called Sooner Magic, Bobby Hansen. It's called Sooner Magic.
You could call it luck. You could call it. What are y'all most worried about? Let me go, Tyler. Here as an OU fan, here we go. I'm most worried about the defensive backfield. If Ewers has time to throw, I think when you saw last year, 31 of 37, after his 3 turnovers. He was 31 of 37 for about 350. And the most glaring thing as an OU fan that you're worried about, can OU score enough points to win this game? Offensively, through 5 games, there's not one thing that tells me they can. That's why I'm picking Texas, okay? Because I do think OU's defense is going to get some turnovers. I think early on they're going to play really well. But if OU offensively does what it's done the first 5 games, and you go the second quarter with minus 20 yards, you go the second and third quarter with no offense at all, and you're 3 and out punting, 3 and out punting, 3 and out punting, 3 and out punting. They will not. The wall will break eventually. The dam will break. You can keep damming them up on defense and stopping them, but at some point, if you just keep feeding them the ball, specifically Tennessee, go back to that game first half. OU gets 2 turnovers, 1 at the 5-yard line. Tennessee always started on OU side of the field, and they held them to what, 13 points at half? So eventually, though, it's going to break.
Hey,
The force says what worries me the most is Texas sucks.
That's not a worry. Woody and Walker getting burned, I can see that. Let me. I'm confused on KB Longhorn here, so I know you're in the Discord, KB. To say Sark's not going to let the rush be a factor?
He did last year.
Are you saying they're just going to throw real quick patterns? I think
he's saying go routes.
You still got to have time to do that. If you're saying wide receiver screens, but if that's the case, if Quinn Ewers is going to do that, OU's got to get their hands up on the D line.
Quick passes. I will say this:
get your hands up on the D line.
OU, and Brent Venables said this after the Auburn game, one of their worst tackling games of the year. They've been focused on it in practice this week. OU's pretty good at tackling usually, especially on the wider scheme stuff. They're physical, but yeah, I've seen it before in Sark's offense. He's really good at running back screens, traditional running back screens, which you don't see a whole lot of. But if you're bringing a jailbreak blitz, that'll eat you up. So it's going to be a chess match.
Jay.
Yep.
Going to be a chess match.
And hey, I think Quinn's a great quarterback. I really do. I do think he hasn't played in a few weeks. He does still have last year's game where he did turn it over 3 times in the first half. Like, if you can get to him early with a turnover.
Didn't he turn it over in the playoff at the end of the game?
All I know is that in the first play or two against OU last year, Gentry Williams had a pick. And I know Gentry Williams isn't there, but
you got to get your hands up if they're going to run short stuff. You got to get your hands up. Secondary's got to tackle really well. The linebackers got to come down, take good angles. Everyone knows what happened 2 years ago when Xavier Worthy just took the first play to the house, I think, or first third down play to the house.
Yeah, wide receiver screen. Yep, bubble screen, took it all the way. So, and Clement dropped some stuff he's worried about as an OU fan. I think this game it's at 8.5. I think that's probably about right. So, who knows, man? It'll be nice to see OU with 5 consistent offensive linemen in there from last game, and hopefully the hope is that they play a lot better since they've played 1 game together and get 2 weeks to practice. I mean, it is going to be a chess match, Selene. That's what it is. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, and it's already begun. The chess match has already begun. There's already pieces being moved already.
Yeah, that's right.
This Saturday, guys, not much on the slate. We'll only be on one time Saturday, probably Saturday night,
9:30
for our nightly live. But no pre-games or post-games this week. That's kind of sad.
Is there one game that you would say could be a big upset that nobody's really talking about? Big upset on Saturday.
I guess I need to look at who all's playing, Jay. Does Oregon play?
Yeah, Oregon plays Michigan State.
At home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dominant. Does Ohio State play on the road? I think they just got done playing on the road at Michigan State, so they're probably home as well.
Hey, and this is a game I think Arkansas keeps this game really close.
Tennessee had a bye week, though, man.
But here's the thing. Arkansas cannot close out games. They haven't been able to under Sam Pittman in the last few years. That would be my worry as an Arkansas fan. That game against A&M, they should have won that game, and their offense didn't look very good in the second half, really.
Ron, OU softball couldn't even lose to themselves.
That's true.
They tied.
Ohio State, Iowa. Is that a game? Okay. That'll be a
Ohio
blowout.
State's going to destroy Iowa.
Hey, last year, and there's some Texas people in here. What happened with Danny Stutzman after the game and the Texas fears Oklahoma and the shirt? Are there players still thinking about that? We talked about locker room. We talked about bulletin board material. Is that a real thing still or no? Do you think that's a thing still or no?
I absolutely do.
Do you?
Any player that played in that game is going to say it. Any player that played in that game is going to say it, Jay. All I know is it's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. The work week for a lot is about over, and it'll be
Tampa Bay lost, or they overtime.
They're in overtime. It looks like. Hey, I want to shout out the super. I'm trying to remember who it was. It was Mr. Dilligaff for the super and the prayers tonight.
Appreciate it.
We really do appreciate everyone that's on this live stream each and every night. Yeah, there's no hard feelings for sure, Ron. I was getting fired up early by a lot of things, but appreciate everyone. Texas fans, tell your buddies. It's going to be a fun 9 days until kickoff. Next week's going to be ramped up, but until then, we'll be on here every single night to talk about what you guys want to talk about. Thanks for being on here. We will see everybody tomorrow night. Have a fabulous Friday.